Welcome back to the channel. You see the information on the screen, so you know what I'm about. So let's get into it. So I am joined today, as you all can see, by the absolutely gorgeous Ty from The Shy, and she is hanging out with me today. I saw her on another podcast, and I know some of you saw that video, and I reached out to her and to Humble Dad in order to get a little bit more information about how they feel about the dating market. So before we get in, I do want to give her, 60 seconds to introduce herself and tell you a little bit about what she is doing.
Hello, hello. My name is Taya, but you can call me Ty from the Shy or Ty for short. I'm located in Chicago, Illinois. Right now, I am just, I would say, co hosting on other people's podcasts, but very soon I will have my own podcast back up and running, Smeared Lipstick, where I love to talk about love, life, and BS because what is life without the BS? But I am so happy to be on Stovall's show today. I'm excited for the conversation and I can't wait to see what unravels.
Awesome, awesome. So before we got started, we were just having some great conversation. She was telling me that her mother will not let her come down here to Atlanta. And, part of me is hurt. We could always use another beautiful woman down here. But then part of me is excited because, the traffic is already absolutely horrible. And I'm just letting y'all know Atlanta really is
It's
full. We've been talking about that for a long period of time. Atlanta is full. But her mom was saying that she can't come down here because she'll never get married in Atlanta. And so I was
yeah.
saying that there's a lots of great men in Atlanta, although we do have a reputation that this is not necessarily the best place to come if you want to get married. So one of the first things I know I
Mhm.
had wanted to ask Ty from The Shy is do do black women really know how to pick black men?
Oh, that's a really good question. Okay, so I am going to speak from an overall stance, not me specifically. I think the answer is no. And the main reason I feel that way is because unfortunately, a lot of black women grow up without a black male presence in their home. So they usually go out in the dating market and they're trying to find what they think a good man is rather than what a representation of an actual good man is. And it usually takes time and, bad situation after bad situation until they actually understand what they're looking for and have a better idea. So overall, I don't think a lot of black women know how to date, unfortunately.
But would younger black women, because the main black women that I know on my channel, I try to really reach out to are the women in their 20s. Because I believe that that is their age to lock down their husband, to really get on that path of marriage. So
Mhm.
can and do older black women, I'm not necessarily saying they have to be 50, but do they talk to that group? And when they do talk to that group, is that group listening?
I think that older black women are trying to talk to younger women to give them an idea of what to look for and just to let them know what they've already been through, right? Like, this didn't work for me. You should go after this. The question you pose that's actually more important is, are they listening? No,
Mm.
right? And I don't think they're not listening out of maliciousness. I think it's just something that happens with adolescence and growing. Just like when you try to teach your teenagers the best way to live their life, they already have in their mind that they know what to do and they know what to go after. I think for a lot of younger women, they feel as if, for one, if you're not a woman that they want to look up to, right? If
Mm.
they don't feel you have the lifestyle that they're going after, you have the man that they're going after, then they really don't want to take in your advice. What can you tell me that's going to be better? I think I already know what I'm going for and what's best for me. So I feel that there are women in the community that are giving this information that is extremely helpful, but I don't think that a lot of our young women are listening. I think, unfortunately, for a lot of us, we have to bump our heads. We have to learn the hard way. And
Okay.
once you learn the hard way, then you start taking into consideration what others have told you.
Okay. Well, I mean, I love that, but I'm wondering, especially with everything going out on social media,
Mm.
are women finding the good places to go? Because I think one of the issues that we have on social media is that men many times are hurt, so they go
Mhm.
out to like the red pill community and they listen to them spout all that hate about women. And then I think women will run out to certain places on TikTok and they'll spout all their hate, towards men. And it's like the very area that you need to actually come to is the very area that you skip over.
Yes.
Like one of the things I know with my channel is, and I always talk about it, is that my channel kind of grows slow. And the reason why I know it's gonna probably always grow at a slower pace than some other people is because I don't like drama.
Hmm.
Because see, I tell people all the time, like real men, when you get around real men, like men that were taught to be masculine, the
Hmm.
first thing we do is get rid of drama. That's
Yeah.
like
Well,
that's like priority number one. So
hmm
for younger women, how can we get them to come to these spaces where they're going to understand the energy of real men, good men, the men that are going to marry them, take care of their children, try to ward off divorce, try to give them the world. How can we get those younger women to say, "Yo, I'm going to hang out on this channel. I'm going to hang out on this channel," instead of following Shira Seven, down the path to wherever they going.
I think that's going to be a hard battle, right? Because you're going against what society is pushing right now, which is drama.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from social media, YouTube channels, television, reality TV, everything is drama filled. And then there's a layer of this illusion or disillusion, right? That you can get everything that you want when you want it, no matter how you act or how you come to the table. So I think it's really hard to try to force a new narrative, of, like you stated, the perspective of a man that understands what it is to be a man and understands that drama isn't what you're looking for. That's not the narrative that they're hearing on a daily basis. And once again, going back to my original comment,
Mm-hmm.
you are foreign to them. Men themselves, to most black women, and I'm only speaking for black women because I'm a black woman. I don't know a lot about other women, but for
Mm-hmm.
black women, a lot of us don't grow up in a household with a father, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if you already don't have that experience, then you don't know what a good representation of a man is. You may be attracted to that toxic man or that man with all of that money or that man that seems like he has it all together when in reality, he doesn't, right? In reality, he may not treat you well. He may not be the best fit for you. But because that is what social media, television, and everything else around you is pushing as the end thing,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be extremely hard to grasp their attention and to get them to move over to this channel. I think instead of trying to go for the younger group, we should go for children. We should start in the household.
Mm-hmm.
We have to start recreating what it is to be a black family again. And then we can start raising young girls and young boys who understand what it is to be in their feminine, to be in their masculine, what it is to have a relationship between a woman and a man that is a functional and healthy relationship rather than one that's filled with drama and all of this toxicity. I think it's going to be extremely hard, especially today's young women, just because social media is so prevalent. And like you stated, that whole drizzle and the soft man era, it's booming right now.
Oh yeah.
It's booming. It- it's going crazy. And for a lot of us, we know that
Mm-hmm.
that's not reality. But a lot of our youth wants that to be their reality. They're feeding off of it constantly. So I feel like the narrative is going to be extremely hard to push for our young folks. We would have to go even younger. It starts with our children. It starts with our babies. right? It starts
Mhm.
with women who are now coming to the realization that things need to change, them changing themselves. And unfortunately, that's going to be 25 and older,
Mhm.
right? Because it takes life experience and for you to have gone through things, for you to learn things, for you to have that growth. So it's going to take the older generation to start deciding that just because I'm an old dog doesn't mean I can't learn any new tricks. I have to start changing myself. That way, the life I bring into this world, I can teach them and show them what it is. Because, like we know, you can talk all day long to these children, to young people, but it's going to be your actions that they watch. They're going to follow what you do, not what you say.
No, I 100% agree with that, and I really liked what you had to say on that because I think it's really important, like you say, to try to get into them. And like I was talking to a guy recently, Sekou Brown, and he came on the show, and me and him were talking a lot about media because my background is actually film, and to me,
Oh,
media, yeah, is a huge thing, right?
mhm.
Because I truly believe that life, I mean, art imitates life, but life
Yes.
also imitates art.
Mhm.
And they've kind of shown this in a lot of different ways. Like they would show a crime that was done, let's say in Seattle, just giving an example, and then people would figure out how to do it in Jacksonville, Florida. It's because
Mhm.
they've watched it and now they've seen it, and so now they know how to do it. And so,
Yep.
people do follow what they see. So I do 100% agree with you. And see, I think media needs to step in. And I actually feel like, no disrespect to the amount of money that Mr. Perry has made, but I do believe that a lot of his programming has worsened the issue. So, do
Really.
you think that media could help reach these younger people?
Do I think they could help? Yes. Do I think they will help? No. This is a multi-million dollar market right now. Why
Mm-hmm.
would they? I don't know if you're familiar with a network called Zeus. It is black ran. It's about $5.99 a month. A lot of people might not know about it, but it's nothing but ratchet television with black men and black women acting a fool.
Mm-hmm.
A plum fool. Terrible examples of what you should be in the community, but they are making money. They're helping these people who once didn't have a name at all make money. And they're pushing this out there because they're making millions off of this entertainment. It's entertaining,
Oh yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But the sad thing is that for the people watching, especially the young people whose minds are still developing, once again, who haven't lived and experienced life, this is reality TV, reality.
Mm-hmm.
So they're aspiring to be these people, to do the same things that they're doing. Why would they change that? It's just like asking
Mm-hmm.
the healthcare industry to push healthy lifestyles rather than prescription pills. Why would they do that? They know that if you just change the way you ate, you wouldn't have cancer, you wouldn't have all of these issues. But why would they push that when the cancer industry is $1 billion industry? When pharmaceuticals, even though people are becoming addicted to them at a rapid rate, is $1 billion industry. Too many people are making money off of the demise of society. So instead of fixing the problem, we'll just continue to feed it because everybody will get paid off of it.
No, I mean I'm agreeing to shoot. You took that right out of my mouth because that's what I say all the time.
Yeah.
I think that yeah, I think that America. I mean, like I said, even with this channel, when I first started this channel, I was doing a lot of response videos and stuff like that, and what people would send me, and quickly people started to line me up in almost the red pill community. Even though I had a cross on the screen, even though I would try to balance stuff out, it was because of the literal videos that I was talking about. That was
Mhm.
enough to push the edge of of YouTube as far as they was concerned. That was a community I belonged to, and those
Mhm.
are the people that were watching me. And for a long period of time, I mean, I was just going up. I was having so many people to follow, and then I literally had to take a step back, and I was like, okay, let me change my titles up a little bit. Let me change, my thumbnails up a little bit. And I noticed that right around that time, there was definitely a flattening. It was not as many people were coming out anymore. But I felt like, because I am Christian, I feel like, look, one day I gotta stand before God.
Yep.
And all these people can say whatever they want, especially now with planes literally falling out the sky and everything else going on. We don't know if we at the end times. And see, you get before God, and God is going to be like, okay, why did you tell a million people that the opposite gender was a bad person,
Right.
only to make a couple $1 million? Why did you do that?
Hmm.
And so for me, that's why I'm always trying to dispel all this stuff. But one of the things that you brought up, which I think is really interesting, because just like you were talking about with big pharma, and you're right, most people, I talk about it on my channel, like sugar is one of the worst things you can put in your body. It's
Yeah.
the cause of almost every problem, from cancer to dementia.
Yep.
But one of the things that is interesting is, if big pharma is not necessarily responsible for our health, then are the black people that are actually talking about this, are we really responsible for quote unquote lower class black people that don't want to listen?
I don't think we are responsible for them, right? Because we all have our free will. But we do have a responsibility to share this information, because we can't expect people to learn things if they don't know, right? If they literally have ignorance in that specific subject, then it
Mm-hmm.
can be on to educate them. But whether or not you decide to actually listen to me and take in what I'm stating to you is totally different conversation. I can't make another grown woman or grown man change their mentality about anything. And we know within the black community, unfortunately, there are different grades of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have the black men and women that don't mind their situation. Maybe they're on aid. Maybe they don't want to work a lot. They live off the government. That's totally fine. You have a group that's all that also may be off of the government, but they want to do better. They're striving to do better. You have a group that's educated, so they know a little bit more, right? And then you have the upper echelon of the black community, which to a certain degree, and some people may argue, they feel like they're on a totally different island than everyone else because they finally made it. So the problem with that, especially in the black community, is that one group, like that upper echelon group, is going to have a hard time connecting with that group that doesn't want to move out of the hood per se. That's okay with their gang life, scamming or making their money how they make their money. So it's about finding the right person to be the representation for the correct group. Because I honestly don't feel that just because you're black that you are the right person to give the message to the group that's listening to you. We have to read our audience and make
Mm-hmm.
sure we're actually connecting with our audience. Just because I'm a black woman doesn't mean that I connect with all black women. I don't. There are some who won't understand half of the things I'm talking about. And it's not because they can't understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. It's literally because they think differently than me. I sound absolutely insane to them, whereas some will completely understand and get on board with what I'm saying. So I think it's just more about us understanding our audience, finding a good person who can be the representation of that audience, who has the knowledge and is willing to share that to each specific group. But that takes a lot of time, effort,
Mm-hmm.
energy. And if we're being honest, a lot of black people don't want to do that because we deal with enough on a day to day basis. A lot of us would rather just work on our family and home and getting them together rather than trying to fight the war for everyone.